At 0143 local time, a 9,000-ton Arleigh Burke-class destroyer maintains a steady heading of 180 degrees in the Northern Arabian Sea. Velocity 14 knots. At this speed, the flow around the hull is optimized to minimize hydraulic turbulence, allowing the AN/SQS-53C sonar suite to achieve maximum signal-to-noise ratio (SNR). 70 meters below the waterline, two Iranian Navy Kilo-class submarines, designated as targets Alpha and Bravo, are operating entirely on battery power. These 3,000-ton black holes utilize anechoic tiles to absorb 90% of active sonar pulses from the Americans. They are not merely submerged, they are executing a geometric envelopment algorithm. Target Alpha locks the starboard flank, exerting corridor pressure to negate all maneuverability variables for the American destroyer. Simultaneously, Target Bravo initiates a silent creep 15 miles dead ahead, moving with surgical precision to bisect the opponent's projected track. In the calculus of naval warfare, this is known as building the box. The objective is to compress the 9,000-ton American steel mass into a predictable lane of travel, driving the torpedo kill probability to 95%. Inside the red-lit CIC, the American captain initiates a logic query process. He orders a 5-degree course correction. This is a system test. If the submerged contacts were merely drifting objects, the bearing would shift naturally. However, as both kilos simultaneously recalibrate their screw turns to maintain the bracket, the Aegis system provides a definitive output: active pursuit status confirmed. Recognizing the geometric resistance from the Americans, the Iranian commanders immediately activate an acoustic deception protocol: bottom bounce. They fire high-intensity sonar pulses into the fine seabed silt, weaponizing physical reflection to generate a series of ghost acoustic signatures. Think of it like trying to identify a single flashlight inside a room lined with shattered mirrors. The destroyer's Aegis displays are instantly poisoned by hundreds of ghost signals. The central processors enter a state of data saturation, forced to allocate bandwidth to verify a barrage of false positives before a real strike can be launched from an unverified coordinate. As the Iranian bottom bounce tactics continue to saturate the Aegis processors with ghost signatures, the American response transitions from reactive to proactive. The escalation begins with a cold launch. An MH-60R Seahawk lifts from the destroyer's flight deck in total electromagnetic and visual blackout. The characteristic whine of its twin T-700 engines is quickly swallowed by the ambient white noise of the sea and wind. This aircraft functions as a mobile acoustic courtroom, tasked with delivering a final verdict on the validity of every signature captured by the undersea plot. To establish this courtroom, the Seahawk executes a butterfly pattern, a precise geometric deployment of directional command-activated sonobuoy system and directional frequency analysis and recording buoys. As each canister strikes the water, it deploys a sensor array suspended at calibrated depths, specifically calculated to penetrate the thermal layer. These sensors do not merely listen. They sniff for the specific frequency harmonics of the Kilo-class machinery, bypassing the surface distortions that the Iranian submarines rely on for cover. However, the Iranian Navy is prepared for this aerial intervention. Sensing the tightening of the sonar net, Target Bravo deploys a mobile acoustic decoy. These autonomous units are engineered to mimic the exact acoustic signature of a Kilo-class hull, reproducing the rhythmic pulse of its propellers and the low-frequency hum of its cooling pumps. Within minutes, the American Aegis display is flooded with 4 to 5 identical targets, each moving with plausible submarine kinematics. Simultaneously, the Iranian commanders utilize acoustic masking, positioning their hulls to leverage the noise and cavitation bubbles generated by the US destroyer's own screws to mask their movements. The Iranian tactic is a denial-of-service attack on the Aegis processor. By blending mechanical noise with artificial digital pulses, Iran forces the American computer into a high-cycle validation loop. Every millisecond spent verifying a decoy is a millisecond withdrawn from the destroyer's life expectancy. It is a war of processing bandwidth. The stalemate is broken by a digital slap, delivered by the Seahawk sensor operator Senso. Through a process of signature filtering, the Senso begins an acoustic surgery on the incoming data. By analyzing the hydrodynamic resistance of each contact, the operator identifies the decoys, Real 3,000-ton hulls possess a specific low-frequency transient behavior when maneuvering a physical mass that decoys, despite their sophisticated electronics, cannot fully replicate. The decisive error, however, comes from Target Alpha. In a high-stakes effort to maintain the kill box geometry against the U.S. destroyer's course changes, Alpha's commander orders a sudden increase in propeller RPM. 1.5-second window. The tips of the submarine's screws spin fast enough to drop the local water pressure below its vapor point, triggering cavitation. Thousands of vacuum bubbles are created and instantly imploded against the blades, releasing a sharp, high-frequency spike. This is the acoustic scar, a permanent digital mark on the sonar stack. The cavitation implosions function like a flare in a dark room, fixing Alpha's exact coordinates in the American digital ledger. The Seahawk immediately capitalizes on this vulnerability, transitioning to an aggressive ALFS, airborne low-frequency sonar, posture. The helicopter hovers low over the water, lowering its dipping sonar directly into Alpha's predicted path. High-energy active pings are hammered against the submarine's pressure hull. These pulses are not intended for destruction. They are a statement of dominance. Each decibel of acoustic pressure that slams against the Iranian steel carries a singular, non-negotiable message. You have been localized. The Seahawk is no longer a mere helicopter. It has become an electromagnetic noose tightening around the throats of the Kilo-class ghosts. The ocean, once an ally to the silent hunters of the Iranian Navy, has been rendered transparent by the integration of aerial sensors and algorithmic precision. Alpha is no longer a shadow. It is a fixed coordinate in a firing solution. The localization of Target Alpha by the Seahawk's airborne low-frequency sonar, ALFS, creates a momentary vacuum in the undersea plot, a tactical distraction that the commander of Target Bravo intends to exploit. With lethal precision, realizing that the American destroyer's sensor focus is momentarily preoccupied with a confirmed contact, the Iranian commander on Bravo initiates a high-risk maneuver known as snapshot geometry. In the calculus of naval engagement, this is a rapid-fire calculation designed to launch a weapon before the target can finalize its own counter-solution. It is the tactical equivalent of a quick draw in a darkened hallway, where the first entity to digitize a solution wins the right to survive. At 2:08 local time, the destroyer's sonar suite captures a definitive low-frequency transient, the distinct metallic thud of a 533mm torpedo tube being flood-filled against the external pressure of the Arabian Sea. In the Red-Lit Combat Information Center (CIC), this is no longer a mere data point. It is the acoustic signature of a weapon being chambered and aimed directly at the ship's keel. The war algorithm immediately shifts its status from search and track to terminal engagement. The ambient noise of the room vanishes, replaced by the rhythmic, binary focus of a crew trained to dismantle incoming threats. However, the Iranian commander is executing a sophisticated water slug ruse. Instead of releasing a thermal homing torpedo, Target Bravo ejects a high-pressure burst of compressed air and water. This fake launch creates a violent acoustic signature that perfectly mimics the cavitation and ejection pulse of a heavyweight torpedo leaving its tube. The intent is purely algorithmic. By forcing the American ship to activate its full defensive electronic warfare EW suite and launch acoustic decoys, the Iranian Navy hopes to unmask the destroyer's classified defensive frequencies. They are fishing for the ship's logic gates, attempting to capture its electronic DNA for future exploitation before a real weapon ever touches the water. The American response, however, is not governed by panic, but by a pre-calculated mechanical reflex. Inside the CIC, the captain processes the threat within a compressed OODA loop. Observe, orient, decide act. There is no hesitation, only the execution of a pre-recorded tactical script. The command is issued: execute torpedo evasion profile, full power, all shafts. Immediately, the ship's 4 LM-2500 gas turbines scream as they reach maximum power, dumping massive amounts of torque into the twin shafts. The 9,000-ton hull heels sharply to the side as the helmsman throws the rudder into a 30-degree hard turn. This is not a desperate attempt to dodge a bullet. It is a calculated effort to break a mathematical solution. By changing the ship's heading, speed, and acoustic profile simultaneously, the American crew is forcing the Iranian fire control computer to restart its solution from zero. Every degree of heel and every knot of increased velocity increases the error probable in Bravo's targeting data. Recognizing that target Bravo's aggression has crossed the threshold of harmless posturing, the American commander transitions the engagement into Phase 5, Kinetic termination. The time for acoustic shadow boxing has ended. Seeing that target Bravo remains a persistent threat and target Alpha is still pinned by the Seahawk's sonar, the captain authorizes a kinetic release. The objective is to shatter the Iranian pincer before a real torpedo can be finalized. The Seahawk, hovering at 150 feet, receives the pre-fire authorization. The sensor operator, Senso, locks onto target Alpha, which is currently struggling to regain its stealth after the cavitation error. The Seahawk releases an Mk-54 lightweight torpedo, LWT. The weapon enters the water with a clean splash, immediately activating its internal active seeker head. The Mk-54 does not move in a straight line. It executes a sophisticated spiral search pattern, utilizing its onboard processors to ignore the Iranian Moibeni decoys. It thinks in hertz and decibels, filtering through the bubble screens until it finds the solid metallic mass of target Alpha. Despite Alpha's attempt at an emergency dive, the torpedo's calculus is faster. The impact is defined by the raw physics of undersea pressure. The PBXN-103 warhead detonates against Alpha's portside pressure hull. There is no fireball, only a concentrated pulse of energy that compromises the submarine's structural integrity. Inside the USCIC, the sonar stack records the unmistakable sound of an internal hull collapse, the haunting, metallic percussion of a 3,000-ton hull being crushed by the weight of the deep. Target Alpha is officially deleted from the undersea plot. Amidst the seismic chaos of Alpha's destruction, Target Bravo, the architect of the water slug ruse, executes its final survival algorithm. Proving to be a master of undersea geometry, the commander of Bravo utilizes the massive acoustic spike of the torpedo explosion as an acoustic shroud. Under the cover of the blast, Bravo performs a knuckle maneuver, a violent high-speed turn that creates a massive turbulent vortex in the water, effectively blinding the Seahawk's sonobuoys. Immediately following the turn, Bravo shuts down all non-essential machinery, transitioning into a silent glide. It utilizes the natural contours of a nearby undersea trench to achieve signature decoupling, separating its mechanical noise from its physical location. By the time the acoustic environment stabilizes, the Aegis network finds only empty, silt-filled water where Bravo once existed. The black hole has lived up to its name, vanishing back into the void. The after-action report, AAR, concludes at 2:21 a.m. The tactical box has been dismantled. The Arabian Sea remains indifferent to the violence that occurred beneath its surface. Target Alpha has been converted into a non-recoverable logistical loss, 3,000 tons of steel settling into the seabed silt. Target Bravo survives as a data point, carrying with it the digital DNA of American defensive frequencies. The trap failed because physics is a biased judge. Military calculus. Understand the tech that writes history. Goodbye.